Hey there, it's Max. I am working today on my second attempt at a Bohemian beaded lampshade. I am taking apart this first attempt, which I'm not happy with. It's kind of cute, but it's not the structure that I wanted, and it's not the look that I was really going for. I want something a little bit different. So what I've done here, you may recognize as the bottom of a tomato cage. I've just cut it accordingly, and then size-wise, it goes, you know, it has a nice little angle to it, and I'm hanging these gradiated, there's 7 different sizes of beads, and I've put 3 of each size on here with floral wire. And yeah, that's about it. So what I'm doing actually is taking this floral wire from Dollarama, right? On the corner, on the ones that are over the wire here, I'm trying to hide it. So what I'm doing is I'm wrapping the wire around so it'll sit on top of this wire. I want it to hide it somewhat, and if I need to, I'll go back in with more wires and wire it to it, or a glue gun, or do something just so that these aren't front and center. Okay, so there we go. I've taken the floral wire. Now what I'm gonna do here is take this apart. What I've done on this last one is I've used 4 of each size bead. So I'm putting 1 back in the bowl, stringing them onto here. 3 of each size. Now this project is a super simple project to do while you're watching TV and you have your mind occupied. It's also a great project if you have little guys that you can get them to help you with as well. It's great for learning sizes, comparative sizes, and for eye-hand coordination. It's not terrible because these beads have quite big holes in them, and the wire, the wire keeps things stiff. So it's just a little bit easier for little hands actually, and old hands like mine, to manipulate. So it's a great project, and it's one of those things that has to be supervised, of course, because there is a choking hazard. But it's a nice project you can do with kids. And if you want to paint the beads, the other thing you can do is get acrylic paint and paint these beads, or you can stain them. You'd have to do the staining. But you can get the kids to help you paint them, and then you can sort them by color and work on sorting that way too. So it's a nice little kid project. I used to work in daycare. That's how I put myself through college. And I've always had a love of doing crafts, and when I worked in daycare, that just kind of made me really realize that was something I like doing, because kids are great. They're so creative in the way they attack projects and the way they look at things. You know, they'll look at them from a different way than adults will, and sometimes the creative things they come up with are just genius. Love kids. So yeah, this guy is going to be going out in my gazebo this year. I have a gazebo in the backyard that I rig up with, this year it'll be shower curtains. But last year it was some old fabric that we didn't use for another project. And I want to string this on top. See, I'm trying to string this one on top of this here. Yeah, so what we did is my mom, I think it was a bunch of fabric that my mom had bought originally to buy curtains, and she changed her mind on it. And it was inexpensive fabric, but you know, at the same time, you don't want to you let things go to waste. And so she said, yeah, of course you can use it. And I bought some grommets and hung the fabric inside of the gazebo by grommets, and then I had a nice little outdoor room for the summer. Well, that's not bad. What I can do is maybe come back with another piece of wire or something. even like this. There, where it's hidden. Oh, maybe up top, tighter. There, where it's a little bit hidden, and twist it onto there. There we go. See? That's not bad at all. Huh. Sometimes I'm kind of smart. There we go, and then I'll just use the flipped off wire from this one to do the same on the other side, because I was wondering what I was going to do there. Neat. Came up with it on the fly. Okay, so you see what I'm doing here. I'm going to continue with this project. I'm going to string a few more of these, and we'll see what we have fairly soon. Okay, talk to you soon. Okay, we're back with my little project here. I have everything beaded around the tomato cage. And it works out to about 15 of these strings per third of the cage, because it's broken up into thirds. So it's about 15 strands per, but you can see how on the top here that the wire is showing. So what I've done is I've taken another piece of wire, and in another pattern that I kind of like, I have beaded and strung them up and twisted the wires around here too. And I think it looks a little bit nicer, a little more finished. And I might just so it covers everything really nicely, I might just dab some glue on there, some hot glue. But I'll show you how I could do this one too. Okay, so I'm working on the last little swag, I don't know, hanging bit for the first row. And then I'm going to make a whole nother row, but this is what I've got so far. And this is the last one to go on. So I spaced them every 6 vertical rows apart. They come together, so I counted them out and it worked out to an even number. So I sorted them out to 6 vertical rows apart, and then I'm going to put the split in at 3 when I do the second row of these guys. But these ones I'm putting in 2 of the very smallest beads, 2 of the next smallest beads, 2 of the next smallest beads, radiating it up, 2 of everything, until I get to the 2 largest beads. Okay, now we're getting to the 2 largest beads, where I'll take 1 of the second largest, 1 of the largest, 1 of the second largest, and then I'm back to 2 again with the other beads. And that's how I make these little things that are hanging down. What do you call these anyways? Like, I know bunting is like when it's fabric. I'm into fabric in a big way. I sew as well. So I don't know what it is when it's kind of swagged, like fabric would be, but it's beads. Don't know the proper terminology. Okay, so there we go. And then we count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there we are, right here, where we'll end it where we began. Twist, twist, twist. I love floral wire. I can't say that enough. It's so easy to work with. Okay. I was actually talking to a friend who crafts yesterday. She said her husband's always stealing her floral wire too. It's so funny. But it is, it's beautiful to work with. You can manipulate it easily with your hands, so. Okay, so now we are gonna go on and do a second row, and I've started one over here where I've added a second layer of them, and I kind of like the look, so I'm going to go all the way around and see how it looks all the way around, and I'll get back to you. This here is the finished project. The little lamp light, hanging light inside, I found at a local garden center for $5. And as you can see, I've overlapped the hanging swaggy bits on the bottom and added another layer of those beads like I did on the top to hide the wire. And there it is, our boho lamp.